This video is brought to you by Aya Healthcare. Aya Healthcare, the leader in travel nursing. To learn more about travel nursing, visit ayatravelnursingjobs.com.
Well, hello there. Today we are on board the USNS Mercy. It's one of two old oil vessels turned into floating hospitals. The other one is the Comfort, based in Baltimore. And thanks to the U.S. Navy, today they granted Nurse TV an inside look, a sneak peek, if you will, at what goes on inside this floating hospital. So come with me and enjoy this very cool tour. Lieutenant Kobe Croft is the head OR nurse on board the Mercy. This floating hospital returned to San Diego at the end of 2006, following a 6-month humanitarian mission in the Western Pacific to help those in need of medical care. Some 50 nurses were used during the deployment. This is the ship's triage area, a spitting image to most emergency rooms seen on land.
The capabilities of this ER, there's 50 beds here. We can do pretty much anything else the ER can. You have all your acute care, life support. You have trauma. You can make there's two sections to the casualty receiving area. The first, the section that's a little bit forward of the ship. After the ship, you can actually do minor procedures.
In 2004, nurses and doctors working on the Mercy were hailed as heroes for their assistance with tsunami victims in Southeast Asia. Healthcare professionals were in great need, according to Croft, and played a critical role providing medical care for more than 100,000 patients.
The patients are, that's why we come out here. The patients come out here and they love the fact that, that we go to areas where it's a fee-for-service healthcare system, and they're very happy and very grateful. That's where we get as nurses, get our rewards, is you see the gratitude. You may not speak the same language, but you can see it in their eyes that they're so grateful for anything you can do for them. It says that, when it comes down to it, we always love to take care of patients, regardless of money's never a factor, but when it comes down to it, the nurse wants to take care of patients.
And if people have never been on here, I think what's kind of interesting is it's wide. This feels like you don't feel like you're on a ship ever.
Correct. This is very much, if those people who've been on a typical gray hull, as we call it, this is definitely not the same type of environment. The hulls are wide. You don't have the knee knockers, so you're able to push gurneys easily down the passageways. There's also elevators where you can move patients vertically.
The only
as well.
time you realize you're on a ship is when maybe a little rough water then.
Yes, it does take a few more people to move gurneys. Obviously you're on wheels, the ship's moving a little bit, so it does take a couple more people to do it safely, but that's about the only time you can tell. And obviously if you're in the engineering department, it's much more like a typical gray hull.
The ship can be hospital ready within 5 days of getting an emergency call. The ship has 1,000 beds. There are 4 radiology suites, 4 ICUs, a CAT scan, and state-of-the-art digital technology.
This is obviously pre-op. This is where patients come before surgery, just like you would have any other pre-op at a regular hospital. I have 6 stations here. Normally on a humanitarian mission we're using about 3 or 4. We have a total of 12 operating rooms here, 6 on each side with a sterile center core. And as far as our capabilities for surgeries, pretty much you name it, we can do it. We don't have a cardiopulmonary bypass machine, so obviously we couldn't do a cabbage or something like that, but we can crack a chest, we can remove a lung, we can do trauma like that. We can do urology, we can do OBGYN, plastics, pediatrics, general, ENT, the list can go on and on. Ophthalmology is a very big service on the humanitarian missions as well.
The only real tool not at a nurse's disposal, electronic charting. It's done the old-fashioned way, paper and pen. Other than that, Croft says nurses rarely complain about the accommodations.
All we need them is to come with their skills.
You don't have nurses scrambling around ever complaining, going, God, why can't we get this? Why doesn't the Navy have this? Why don't they?
Not from an equipment standpoint, no. Obviously consumables are an issue. You're out to sea. I can't call my local medical rep to deliver me more, but so it takes a lot more planning on the nurses that are permanently assigned on this ship to make sure that we do have the adequate supplies that we need.
But there's not too much complaining.
No.
In a way, what we went into the medical field for is to help people who really need it, and you really get an opportunity to do that on these types of missions.
Commander Marianne Madinen is the head of nursing for the Mercy. She says there's a strong need for humanitarian nurses. Madigan believes that 6 months aboard the Mercy can change a nurse's life forever.
For many of the people that we saw during last deployment, that was the first medical care that some of them ever received in their lives, and others it was just better care or more advanced care. We have the opportunity to provide them with lab test results and x-ray results that they may not be able to afford or have access to where they live. It's a different population for sure, population that is very grateful for any care that they receive from us. They can't thank us enough, and that in itself, when you see them smile, is just reward enough to be able to have the opportunity to do a mission like this. The new nurses that I worked with during our last deployment just absolutely loved it and would really like another opportunity to do it again.
The Mercy is expected to go on its next deployment sometime in 2008. For Nurse TV, I'm Mark Prescott.
This video was brought to you by Aya Healthcare. Aya Healthcare, the leader in travel nursing. To learn more about travel nursing, visit ayatravelnursingjobs.com.